Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a grant from Dominic Vogel. Thank you, sir. Hello guys, welcome to today's Captain's Blog. Today, you get to learn a lesson because I have seen this done so bad in so many places and it breaks my soul. So for anybody out there who is learning how to do outlets, for the love of God, pay attention and watch this as many times as you need to learn how to do it right. Because this is the right way, and there's about 1,000 wrong ways to do this, so watch closely. This is assuming you're doing a for real electrical outlet installation in the United States for something that looks like this. This is a single phase, 120 volt, regular commercial duty 20 amp outlet, okay? Let us begin. So, it starts out, it's got the Mickey Mouse ears. Now this is a commercial installation, so you're gonna have a faceplate that looks like this, okay? So this is like standard industrial RAR. This is not how you do this in your house, unless you live in my house. If you live in my house, this is how you do it in your house. But my house is pretty awesome. So you bend off the Mickey Mouse ears because you're not going to need those. And there's a little score line, and we'll look so you can see it. There's a little score line right there where they're scored. See that? A little line there? So if I grab this, tweak it, comes right off. You just got to fold it back and forth a couple times. Now when you grab them, grab it up there. Don't grab it down here because you'll bend the whole thing and it'll break back here and it'll suck. So do it right there. Ta-da. Okay, so that's step one. Step two, you find, I'll be right back. I left him over here. Step two is you get your good cutters back from where Bruce walked off with them. Okay. So, step two, this works best with this kind of cutters. Now, you're not cutting this off. If you want to destroy a really good set of cutters, go cutting screws with them. But you just reach in there and grab it, and that's just enough to hold it. Hold it like that, and then roll, and it pops right out, okay? Now the other one is held in with a little brass clip. So on this side, you set it on something, just whatever's handy. Kick it out a little bit, grab it, and just the lightest of fingertip pressure to hold it together. You don't want to put any force on the jaws, and then just roll it out. Pops right out. So now you have one prepared outlet. So we liked it once, we'll love it twice. So here's how you do it the second time, okay? You just drop that in there, smack it, pop it, and on all this stuff I'll do it slow once so you can see it, and the second time I'll do it at speed because as you do this, you'll get way faster at it. Okay, so we're going to take off the Mickey Mouse ears, bend it, pops right off, okay? You just line up on a line, pops right off. You end up with a lot of these little Mickey Mouse ears. When you're done, I have seen people use them in a pinch for washers. They'll work for that, it's just weird. Okay, so you've got two outlets. Now, let's take a look at the standard American outlet, okay? This one has the funny side to it because this is a 20 amp outlet. This is big heavy duty RAR outlet. Now if you look on the front, you see there's a little hole, the bigger hole. Now most outlets will look like that. So you just have the little hole in the bigger hole and then the round hole at the bottom, the mouse hole. In America, assuming you've wired this properly, the tiniest hole is hot. This is where the electricity comes from. This is neutral. This is where the electricity goes to. And then this is your ground. This is a safety conductor. Okay, and it's the same in the bottom. On the back, you'll see that we have brass on one side. That's hot, the smallest hole. Because if you're a little kid and you're poking things in an outlet, well, you got a 2 out of 3 chance right away, where if you stick the knife in here, it's not going to hurt you. Okay? If you stick the knife in here, it's going to light you up. So they make this the tiny hole. So you're more likely to go into the big hole. So this is the black wire. Black goes to brass. This is really important to remember. Black to brass. On the other side, we have silver. White goes to silver. So black to brass and white to silver. And I'll bet you can guess what the green is. Green is the bottom hole. Green is ground. Okay? This is the safety conductor. And the ground connects all to here, it connects to this, and all up the back and all that. It's all connected to ground. So here, now that you've prepared it, is how you wire one up. Now for this particular outlet, and it's different for every one, but these are my favorite because these have the little clamp. There's 3 different ways to connect wires to an outlet, depending on which model you buy. Some just have a little hole in the back and you just push the wire in. If you buy those, you're an idiot. Those are a great way to burn your house down in like 20 short years. Never buy those, they're garbage, they suck. Never buy the push-in ones, they're terrible. There are the screw comes out on the side and you wrap the wire around it and tighten it down. Those are okay and they work fine. They're just a pain in the butt to do and they take more effort than they're worth. The good ones have a little clamp. Now sometimes it's an open side and you can see the little clamp bar that rides up and down. And sometimes there's like 2 little holes in the back right here and the clamp is inside and it's a captive clamp. They're pretty much the same. I think they're just 2 different brands. These are made by Leviton. They're good, high-quality outlets, and I use them a lot. I like them. But on the back of the outlet, and I don't know if this will show up on camera, but you just read the back of the outlets, and you can see right here it says back wired strip gauge. See? So there's a little line here, and that's your strip gauge, and you want to strip the wire that long. So it's good. And they tell you how much to strip. So when you put the wire in, and you can see I stripped all these in advance. I made these up as pigtails because that's just how we do this job. So you hold the outlet, and I'm not just going to show you like the wire goes in here. I'm going to take you through and show you exactly how I do this because when doing electrical, it's very knacky, and there's a lot of how you hold things and how you do things. And I want to take you guys through the whole process so that you can get better at this than I am. So you hold the outlet in your left hand, assuming you're right-handed. You hold the outlet in your left hand, right side up, and so. There are people that will argue this, but in my world, this is right side up. These go up. There are people that put them in upside down, and you people are just weird. You're like the people that put mayonnaise on hot dogs, and I don't want to be your friend. So this is right side up. You hold it like this, and then you kick it down, and that'll make the little thing fall out. And when you buy outlets, they all come with 3 screws loose and 2 screws tight. So these are reserved for future use. You'll learn what these are for later. But as a rule, you just need these 3 loose, and they want to save your time, so they leave those out like that. You kick it towards you. You'd start with the black wire. You put it in here. I always put the black in the middle on the open wire. It's totally cool to put it down here. It's just weird. I always put it up here, and that's just how I do it. You want to have the wire stripped enough that it's a really big deal that no plastic goes under the clamp. You don't want the wire going in like that. That creates a bad joint, that gets hot, and that's how you burn down houses. So you want to have that like that. You also don't want to have the wire, like bare conductor, hanging way out. That's bad too. Don't do that because you'll zap somebody. So keep it in there like that. And the way I do it is there's a little plastic bar on these, and I bring my insulation right up to the little plastic bar. I'm just inside the back, and I have enough wire to stick out the top of the clamp right there. So I'm fully engaged in the clamp. I'm using all the surface area of the clamp because the clamp is rated to hold 20 amps when you use all that surface area, and it's nice and happy. So you put it like that, and then you grab a screwdriver. Now notice that's the top of the outlet going that way, and my pigtail bends down. Make sure everything's lined up, and if you hold it like this is kind of a weird way to hold it because I'm used to doing this like tight up here. But here, scooch forward and we'll get cozy for this. So I hold it like that, and then put it in, and tighten that down as tight as you can. If you go too hard, like you'll feel it positively hit like, okay, you're tight, okay? If you go too much, you'll strip this out. And you want to be below that. If you strip this out, don't back it off and be like, okay, that's almost, no, throw it away and start over. Outlets are cheap and house fires are expensive. So that side's done. My black conductor is done. Now I flip it over. I've got my white kicked out like that, and I just turn it upside down like that, stick my wire in, and you can see I've got my conductor all the way through. Everything's happy. I don't have conductor hanging out. I don't have plastic shoved under. Everything's just where it's supposed to be. And it's my white wire, so I have the silver screw, okay? And if you hold it like this, 2 fingers under like that, make a good solid fist, back it with your leg, and then you can really push on it so you don't strip out, because with a Phillips head, if you don't push hard, this will cam out and you'll strip the thing off. And if you do that, throw it away and start over. And on this particular one, this will fit 3 different screwdrivers. I can fit my Phillips head in there, my number 2 Phillips, which is good. I can fit my big straight blade in there just fine. Okay, and that'll go nice and tight, and you can actually get a little tighter with this a little easier. And you can fit the square drive in there. But practice this, get a good solid backing with it, because if you screw this up, it's going to roll off, and you're going to stab yourself in the finger exactly right there. Almost always right there, not always. Sometimes you can stab yourself in the finger down here, like it does like that, and that's how you get that scar right there. That's your apprentice scar. So we've got 2 of those in, and they all go down, and they're nice and tight, and we've got black on brass and white on silver. Okay, so now we do the ground, and the ground's a little trickier. I don't know why, but this is, grounds are wired like that, and sometimes you'll do it with a pigtail and stuff like that, but I'm going to teach you the hard way. I'm going to assume you're starting with just bare wire, or just insulated wire. So here's how you do it. Assuming this is what your terminal looks like, which is really common, where you'll just have the bolt coming out. Now these are screws, this is a bolt. You've got a hex head bolt there. And you've got the little fin down the side. You're going to use the fin to your advantage. That's your stopping gauge. So you take your wire and you go up about 2 inches and then pick the right notch. So we're about 2 inches up the wire, right? So we're going to strip just about 1 inch. I want a little bit more than that. Okay, we're going to strip just about 1 inch of wire. And you're like, why do you leave that off there? Well, this is hollow. We just pushed the insulation down the wire. Okay, and if you bend it, you can find, yeah, that's my spot. So we'll cut this off for a visual aid. That's, you can almost, there, you can see the end of the wire in there. Okay, so that's got wire in it, and that wire, that's dead to us. But having this on there, and you want to have a fair bit, you're going to lose 1 inch of wire, just accept that fact. And it makes this part a lot easier, because what you do is you slip that in there like that, and you hook it right there. Okay, and you have your insulation way down here. That's going to suck in a little bit, but as long as this insulation doesn't suck under the bolt head, you're okay. You want to have nothing but bare copper touching this. So we're going to put that in there like that, and you can see it follows the same curve as the other ones, and we're just going to wrap that right around and tuck it. I'm actually going all the way over till they overlap a little bit, okay? And then bring it back. And if you do it right, these 2 will end up parallel, and this is just barely catching on the thing. Okay, so your insulation's way down there. And then we grab a screwdriver. Now you can do this with a nut driver. In fact, I have a nut driver right here that'll fit it. But if you do it with a nut driver, it gets mushy and weird. I don't know why, it just doesn't work quite right. So I do it with a straight blade or a flathead screwdriver. And you tighten that down, good and tight. And don't cam it out. Okay, so that's nice and tight, and look how clean that is. They're not all splayed out and ugly, it's nice and tidy. Now, you've got options here. Some guys fold this back, those guys are weird. I cut it off, and I leave a little tiny bit, and make sure not to catch the main conductor when you do this, you don't want to nick it. You cut that off like that, and then you just tuck that in there like that, and you're good. Now you've got a solid ground, solid neutral, and solid hot. Okay, so black to brass is hot. Neutral to silver and white. Ground is green, it goes to the green bolt down here, and that's the funny different one. Okay, so now you're all wired up and you're good. And now we get into one of the steps that everybody seems to forget. If you've ever taken apart, that was my tape. If you ever take it, that's what I want. Oh, no, wait, I have special tape. I have special tape. Where is it? By the way, if you're buying electrical tape to do work, don't buy the little tiny rolls. That's phasing tape. That's not for this. But if you're really cool, and if you want to do what matters, I strongly recommend, by the way, when you're buying tape, buy Scotch professional grade. This is the good tape. Okay, comes in little pucks. And the little pucks are awesome. They keep your tape from getting all schmutzy. But I have purple tape for Mom, because we love Mom. So, here's what you do next. And there's a way to do this. I hold the outlet upside down so that my ground screw is facing up. And you just hold it like this, okay? So you got the wires through your fingers. And it's a brand new roll of tape. That's how much we love Mom. Brand new roll of purple tape for Mom. Okay. So with the tape in the right hand, you lay it across there and then hold it down with your thumb, okay? So that's where your tape begins, is right on top. You pull it nice and tight. Now the first lap around, you go pretty much tight up to here, okay? The second lap around, you want to overlap the back by about 1/8 inch. Not too much, just about 1/8 inch. Okay, that's my second lap. And then for my third lap, I come back in, around, come up on the top. Now right on the top, you touch your thumb tips together like that and pull. And then clean this up a little bit, lay that down. And now that outlet is done. Okay, now that took a long time to do because we had to teach and do it slow. And there's certainly guys that can do this way faster than what I'm about to show you. But let me show you how long it takes to do this right at normal speed, okay? So I'll talk you through it, but I'm not gonna do it slow. So pay attention. So, and usually if I'm doing this for a lot, I do a lot of these steps in advance, but we'll just start off here. Let's go. So we break off the bunny rabbit ears. I'd like to point out I am not a professional electrician. I just play one on YouTube. Guys that do this for real are just wicked fast and really awesome to watch. And you annoy the shit out of them if you sit and watch them and ask 10,000 questions, so don't do that. Go on YouTube and ask 10,000 questions. Okay, so there's the first one, and I got that one done, cool. And pigtails. So we tighten in black to brass. Hey, let's put that in the right way. Now, I'm in no danger of being recruited by the IBEW, but I see so many people, so many of the DIY crowd doing electrical, and you guys so frequently do it wrong. And it's okay to do certain things a little bit wrong, but with electrical, like, if you screw up plumbing, your basement floods and you buy new stuff. If you screw up electrical, you die in your sleep. And I'm not okay with that. Like, this is a thing that requires a very healthy level of respect. I'm not saying you should be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. It's just science. It's just engineering. You can do this, but man, you gotta be careful with electrical. It's a big deal. Carpenter screws up and the door doesn't close right. The electrician screws up and you die in your sleep. Okay, so we'll separate that out a little bit. Come in, trim that. I like to leave about 1/8 inch. Fold that over, okay, and then we tape it. Purple for Mom. And they make electrical tape in every color under the sun. So find out what color is your mom's favorite color, and use that when you safety tape your outlets. Not everywhere requires that you tape outlets like this, but do it. The guy who comes in to work on it behind you is definitely going to appreciate it. Done. Time! All right, so now we've got our 2 outlets. Oh, we need a new clip. All right, so now we've got our 2 outlets. Let's turn them into a full-on plate and make it legit. So here's how you do that. You get a plate, They'll come like this. This is a Hubble, which is a good brand. Hubble makes quality stuff. And it's got a little hole in it. You grab the hole and you just pull like that. Now inside there is usually some loose nuts and bolts. Sometimes they're in a little bag. Okay, Hubble's high quality, so they're in a bag. And we'll move this stuff out of the way. You always end up with little bits and pieces. So here's what's in the bag. Should be 4 nuts, 4 bolts. Sometimes, and it's not at all uncommon, especially in the cheap brands, you'll get 1 or 2 extra or less nuts and bolts. Like, it's not uncommon for them to be missing one, but this is Hubble. That's good quality stuff. So here's your plate. Sometimes they say top. It's pretty much ambivalent, but just for me, I'll look at the back of the plate and see which way the writing goes and put it in right side up. So you take a bolt, that goes there, put a nut on the back. This is the fussy part. There are tricks to doing this quicker for like serious pros. I am not a serious pro, but I'm going to try one of the tricks. So what you do is you take this, and this works really well with this particular brand of outlet because they've got a built-in little washer on the thing, so it won't fall down into your nut driver. When you put these in, you'll feel some resistance because there's the little brass tab. Hey, here's one that I've always wondered, and comment if you know. Why do outlets have the little brass tab on one end, but not the other? Never understood this. The only guess I have is it's something for grounding, for connecting the outlet to the metal faceplate. That's the only thing I can think of why they do that. If you know, comment and tell me. You just muscle that in there. Sometimes it's easier just to go to the other end because that'll hold it in more firmly when you have to fight the thing in there. And if it doesn't want to go in, lean on it. Okay, and then tighten those down good, because you don't want to be the guy who made the outlet that wiggled in the wall. Done. That's how you wire up an outlet plate like that. It's not rocket science, it's not hard, but this is art. It really is. This done properly is art, and it's half engineering, it's half art. It's craftsmanship. That's what craftsmanship is where engineering meets art. And to do it right is a beautiful thing. And it's safe, and it's good, and it's solid, and this, if you do it right, will live longer than you will. There's no reason this ever have to be replaced unless it gets used so much it actually wears out. So take the time to do it right, do it like this, and quit being those guys that build these things that I keep replacing in these shitty old buildings that we get that look like they were wired by a meth head, because damn. So now you know how to wire an outlet that doesn't suck. That's it. Today's Captain's Blog is made possible by a grant from Dominic Vogel. Thank you, sir.